Hey hotties! So I'm finally dropping the long awaited tutorial for my maxi skirt. There's a few variations of this skirt. I'll be showing you the brown one. I'm holding my bunny for comfort, for some support, because this is my first tutorial, guys. I didn't follow any particular rhyme or reason when it came to changing colours. I just changed them as and when felt cute. Please feel free to comment any questions or anything you're confused about, but I've tried my best to make it clear and as short and concise as possible because nobody wants an 8-hour long tutorial. Okay, I only ended up using about 400 grams of yarn, but these are the other materials I used, including a 4mm hook, scissors, darning needle, and 4 stitch markers. For the waistband, we're going to create a slip knot and begin chaining depending on how thick you want your waistband. I did a total of 9 chains, as the final chain will be used for turning. I then worked my way back through the chain, putting a single crochet into each stitch, leaving me with a total of 8 stitches. Chain 1 and then turn your work. Now looking at the top of the stitches, you should be able to see the front and back loop of your work. We will be working in the front loop, so the loop closest to you. Again, just single crochet into each stitch, but in the front loop only, until you get to the final loop where you will single crochet through both loops to get a straight edge. Again, single crochet and turn your work and work into your new front loop, a single crochet into each front loop until you get to the end stitch where you will single crochet through both loops. Continue on like this until you get your desired waist measurement. You can find your waist measurement using a measuring tape, or alternatively try on as you go. As you can see, I made mine a bit too long, so I had to frog the ends a little bit. Once you have your desired waist length, then you want to cut off the end with enough excess for you to be able to sew both sides together. Take your darning needle and just stitch each side together. Tie the excess yarn into a knot just to secure the ends. Your waistband should look something like this on the front and on the back. Attach some new yarn. This can be of the same colour or different, whatever you prefer. And we're just going to single crochet all around the waistband until you reach the end and connect it together. When placing your single crochets, you just want to make sure there aren't any gaps in between your work. Depending on your hip size, you will now need to increase. Do this by placing a stitch marker at both sides of your hips and in the center of each of your bum cheeks. This very much depends on how wide your hips are or how big your bum is. If you do have a bigger bum, I really do recommend the increases on your butt, but if not, then you can skip that and just go ahead with the hips. We're going to start each row from now by chaining 2 to mimic the first double crochet, and then we're going to double crochet all around until we get to each stitch marker, and we're going to place an increase just by adding 2 double crochets into where the stitch marker is, and then continuing around with 1 double crochet into each stitch until I get to the next stitch marker and placing another 2. Around midway through this row, I decided to add a colour change, so I cut the existing piece of yarn that I was using, leaving some to still work with. And what you want to do is begin your double crochet, and then when you have 2 loops complete on the hook, add in your new colour, keep the yarn behind so you kind of weave in the ends. To end the row, you just want to slip stitch into the top of the chain 2 that you made to begin with. We're going to chain 2 again to start the row in our new colour and continue double crocheting around. This time there are no stitch markers in this row, so we will just be double crocheting into each stitch. This way the increase actually shows up. And we're going to continue to alternate rows in this pattern until we get to our desired hip length. So 1 increase, normal row of double crochets, increase, normal row of double crochets until you get to your desired hip length. Make sure to try on your skirt or to measure repeatedly so you know when it gets to hip length, as you want to stop decreasing at this point when it covers your bum. I placed stitch markers in the same place where I'd placed the increases, both sides of my hips and my bum, and then I did decreases in these areas just to fit around my thighs so I would get a slimmer fit. I only did this for 2 rows, 1 row of actually decreasing, 1 normal row, another row of actually decreasing, and a normal row. To finish off, I just created a simple ruffle edge. I did this by doing 3 double crochet into each stitch, and then I finished it off with a single crochet all around just to give it a clean edge. Alternatively, you could just do a row of single crochet for a straight edge finish, or you could try and do one of my other skirt variations. Please let me know if you want to see how to do that. Thanks so much for watching, hotties. Drop any comments down below. Don't forget to give me a follow. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok as well. See you for the next one.